welcome to our latest edition of Rockstar Launcher. My name is Suzy Fulton. I am one of the co-founders of a women-owned law firm. We're full service. We have 30 attorneys, and if you have a business, we probably have a lawyer that does what you need. We're full service, and we have patents, trademarks, copyrights, anything commercial, litigation, contracts. So if you have a need, we can probably fill it. I'm here today with my wonderful partner, Wei Wei Jeang, and she is going to introduce you to our rock star of the day.
Hi, my name is Wei Wei Jeang. I'm a co-founder with Suzy of Fulton Jeang PLLC. We're so glad to have our guest here today, Debbie Cooley, who is the founder and president of M-Pak Inc. And we have the opportunity to find out all about her company, how she got started, and the whole history and story behind this very successful company that she built how long ago did you found this?
April 9th, 1999.
Wow.
Sometime in that afternoon.
So tell us how did it happen, and how did you get started in starting this company, and what was the inspiration, and what gave you the idea to do this?
Let's see. I think I was not inspired. I think I was trying to figure out how to survive, trying to pay the bills. I was working at a business that I was paid less than half of the men, and it was a sizable difference. It was like $50,000 annually less than the men. And I knew that, but yet I was still making enough to get my daughter through college. And one day I realized occasionally my mouth overloads my backside. So I thought, I'm going to end up getting fired. I need to do something. And they'd already kind of rattled around about putting me on customer service, which I thought there's no way I could do that. And so I left the company.
But you were doing sales.
Yes, sales. I was running a division.
So you were kind of the face of the company for a lot of your customers.
For all of my customers. I ran the packaging division, where the other people, the company was a milk crate and injection mold manufacturer. Injection mold products you'll find at a container store, like the bins that you store your Christmas things in, things you find in your shed and things. That's injection mold plastic.
Mm-hmm. So you're the only female salesperson. They had back office women working administrative type functions, but you were the only sales, like Wei Wei said, kind of the face of the company for your customers.
Yeah, for the packaging, because they had plants, different locations around the country, and my job was to coordinate the packaging, because we had to ship everything in corrugated materials. Our warehouse in the main office was about a football field size, about 20 feet high, and it was packed with all the different sizes of boxes and tape and all the products you need to package something to get it shipped. So,
do you think that you would have started your company if you were making an equivalent salary as the men were?
No.
You don't think you would have had that motivation?
I don't think so. But also what goes along with paying me less was the attitude toward me.
Right.
They had a sales meeting one time that we all gave our presentations, and they excluded me from the sales meeting because we were going to Myrtle Beach. I remember I was excited because I thought, I've never been to Myrtle Beach, and I hear people talk about it. They left me home, or I wasn't invited, because they knew they were going to go to a topless bar, and I might complain and report them.
Right.
Oh, so there. So
you got just attitude and all this kind of.
Everybody had a title. Everybody had a company car. I had none of those.
I heard that you were also left off of golf courses too.
Oh yeah.
Left in the office while they went.
Yeah, they were, and they'd give me their customers to call for them. And I was so naive. I thought, sure, I can do that. Well, the customer went, wow, I'm getting a real quick response from her. I'll just call her. So I'd be getting sometimes to the office at dark and not leaving till after dark. So at the time my daughter was at college, so I didn't have a lot of responsibility. I almost had some dogs to feed, so I didn't mind it at first. And I thought, wait. And then it kind of took me a while to wake up, You get kind of in the forest, as they say, and you can't really see out of the trees.
So you were paid less than half and worked longer hours.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that really motivated you to look
It did.
for another way.
I needed to do something, because if I was going to stand up for women's rights and equality, I wasn't living it. And I was starting to be kind of mouthy. One day I made a sign and I put on my door, "We," because we all had offices. And they said, "What is this?" And I said, "Well, you tell your customers that we will send you a sample and we will return your phone call." So I said, I didn't know my name was We. And of course, they didn't think that was very funny.
So from the time that you were like, "Hey, okay, I want a better life and something needs to change," started having that idea from the time of your April 99 jump. How long was that? Was it a short period of time, or was it pretty quick, or
it was probably coming. It was about a year in of, for example, we had our largest customer came in, and we were all told, dress nice, and we all did back then. You dressed in business suits and everything, but be sure whatever, and your desk is clean and all that. So this guy comes in, and it's me and 10 men, and so this was again the biggest customer of a $90 million company back in the 90s.
Wow.
So it's considered a really huge company, and it's still a big company. But he comes up to me and kind of horse collars me, and he goes, "Hey, everybody, doesn't she look just like my next ex-wife?" And everybody froze. I thought, "Oh God, what is she going to say?" But I was smart enough to not say anything. But that was that was that atmosphere. That was it was for the customers. That was the atmosphere. That's just the way it was.
And when we say this today, you say 99, and people are like, "Wow, that was a long time ago," but it really wasn't. I mean, it was 26 years ago,
Right.
and it's not that long ago. And so, when we're talking about these things, it's not like, "Oh, this was 50, 80 years ago," or
Right.
something. This is pretty recent. And I think I know some of the women that are out there now that whatever Gen Z, Gen Alphas, that they appreciate the fact that they are standing on the shoulders of women like you, who have paved this path for them and made it easier, where they don't have to think about, guys harassing them basically like that, or the appalling things that you had to deal with. And I think that has improved. Are we there yet? No, but
No.
I think things have improved. But
Yes.
continue your journey. Let's hear more about how you made that jump.
Well, I call my customers because I knew I may have mentioned that I never signed the non-compete because I had a question, and I called HR when I first started with the company, and they never called me back, and I just forgot about it. So it was in the drawer. So I thought, I'm free as a bird here. So I called my customers and said, "I'm going to start my own business. Are you good with buying from me?" And they said, "Sure," because I'd known them for years. And so I started my own business. I, looked at the profit in that, and I thought, I can still get her through college. I can still do that. And when she's out, I'll decide what I'm going to do with my life, because I never aspired to be a business owner. I don't like accounting. I don't like the tedium. I don't like being tethered to the needs of everybody. I like sales. I like being out. So I wasn't aspiring to do that. I was going to get her out of college, and then I was going to make a decision. And by the time she got out, we were doing about $1.5 million. And I thought, well,
That's impressive.
I'll hang with this a little longer, still not thinking it was going to be long term. And then, we did 3 million, 5 million, 7 million. I thought, okay. So
Tell us where are you now? with
we
your business.
finished last year at 23 million. So, which is, I'm really disappointed in that, because I feel like we should be twice that big, because I go about things like okay, have I got everything done? I mean, I could go ahead and make the mistake and still have time to go the right way, because I'm overly cautious. When I've noticed, I'm in a business owners group, and I've noticed or observed the people that were born with plenty and have plenty, how they go about things differently. And it's changed my way of doing things, but they failure to them is you just try something else. It's not losing your home, your car,
Right.
where, anyway, growing up with sparse resources, I that's a reality. But to them, that's not, what's that? Failures, I
Such
can't.
an interesting insight,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It was
So do you do things a little bit differently now than
I'm
before?
still in the, back of my mind, but I know I'm doing it. And I guess it's maybe called bipolar. One side says, stop thinking like that thing, But then again, I've got this money here, I've got this resource here, I've got this there. So, go ahead and take that chance.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about your company. What industries are you working with, and what are some of the products that you sell?
Well, we started in industrial packaging, which was what I was doing before, and everything and anything to package a product. If you're a manufacturer or you're a distributor of products, we have whatever you need to package it to get it safely to where it's going. And it can be a 25-cent box, or we have a helmet case. We designed the helmet case for the F-35 bomber for Lockheed.
Wow.
So, and that's a $1,000 case, or sometimes
Wow.
it can be a lot more than that, depending on what the helmet needs. So,
Right.
yeah.
So you were telling us about I'm always curious as to how companies survive COVID, and tell us about that.
It was a little tricky, but we were more fortunate than most because we were considered essential. Because we sell our retail side of the store is for first responders. We have the uniforms, the body armor, anything that a first responder would need. We have medical kits. If a police officer comes upon an accident, we've got the tourniquets and that's yeah.
We can talk a little
Yeah.
bit about that.
Yeah.
So Debbie came to our firm wanting to get some assistance on patenting an invention, and it was a tourniquet tool that's all in one, so that you can safely apply a tourniquet, and everything you need is in this one thing that's well packaged together.
Yes.
So I'm happy to say we're about to get the patent granted very, very soon.
Yes. Yes.
On that idea. So that's how we work together.
That's how, yes, we have we talk about the intersection of law and business, and so that's how you guys intersected with this project. It's always interesting to find out, how our clients find us, the lawyers, right? And we were talking about that before we started, and you were like, I don't remember, so it's interesting, but somehow you found probably one of the best patent attorneys in the state of Texas. So,
great. I wouldn't know the difference, but it's been delightful. I mean, it's been smooth and.
Well, you and Michael and the entire team at M-Pak have been just wonderful to work with. Always very responsive. And that's one of the things that lawyers hope for is, their clients being responsive to our needs in terms of getting information and all of that. So,
and you mentioned that from your standpoint when you were in sales, and the responsiveness that you showed your customer, they appreciated that, and that was why they came with you, because they knew, hey, I'm going to get this responsive if they don't really care. Oh, she's a woman or whatever. It's like, no, I can get what I need quicker if I go with Debbie. And so I think that, that makes a big difference in kind of across the board, if you could be responsive to whoever you're serving and, the people that you're working with. So
yeah, because it might sound minimal, your tape, your bubble wrap, your boxes, but if my customer can't get his product, or her, it's usually a he back there in the warehouse, can't get the product on time, then they lose a customer. So, even if I am not the quickest one, for my own good, we've got to respond. If we say we're going to have it there by 2:00, we have it there by 2:00. Or they have a phone call that says, we actually had one time, we have a location in Chicago, and the bridge blew up one time. And so it said, sorry, our truck's on that side of the bridge that thank goodness wasn't on the side that blew up, but he's stuck in traffic. And then my customer, it's a VA location, said, can you not like get in there with some dollies and unload that truck and find another one? And I mean, so
Like helicopter.
right, they have no patience.
So I think I read that you have 5 locations
Yes,
all over the country.
yeah, Nashville, Murfreesboro, right outside of Nashville, and Chicago, Leavenworth, which is outside of Kansas City. We have some. Where am I? We have Dallas, of course, and then Chelmsford. We have some business.
Where is that?
It's in Massachusetts.
Oh,
And I couldn't tell you in Massachusetts. It's a little town in Massachusetts. So yeah.
So you do a lot of government contracting, and I know I'm not as well versed in that area of the law, but I used to do aviation trial law, and we dealt with the FARs, and it's a lot, right? I mean, just to be compliant and all of that. How did you go about? Did you hire legal counsel, or were you already knowledgeable from your prior position in sales about how that worked and how working with the government worked, or how did you get that
Negative.
knowledge?
I knew nothing. I just knew that my attitude was put myself in a position to be available for whatever it is. If it's government, if it's, get whatever contracts I need, be prepared for whatever. So I went to a GSA seminar where they were talking about how to get a GSA contract, and we studied it, and we got our GSA contract. And I handled that, all the mods and all of that initially. And I think we were about 7 million at the time, and it was starting to take a lot of time.
Right.
And I thought I can either sit here the rest of my life and do this and be at 7 million, or I can hand this off to somebody. And so I did. And he's like this major, well, he calls himself a masshole because he's from Massachusetts. And it worked.
I've heard that before.
Right.
No.
Really well, because like one time one of the contracting people was calling me Little Missy. I
Oh,
thought, okay, all right. So people like that, I'll say, hey, call this guy. I don't want to. I wanted to say, look, I'm not going to call you Buckaroo, so don't call me Little Missy. But but he didn't know different. So he handles all that. And plus he's a wonderful individual. He's just a nice man. He's been with us 12 years, but he's just like, he'll go, hey man, what are you killing me here, man? I can't talk like that. I'm the old lady that's,
Right.
Upset or something, or used to be my hormones.
too emotional.
Yes, too emotional. So he can get away with all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah. That's been kind of a common theme that I've heard a lot of business owners, not just female business owners, but business owners in general, say that you have to reach the point where you have to give it away and give other people the opportunity to do what they do for a living, and that they know how to do, and step away from it. And that can be hard as a founder or an initial owner, because this is your baby. I mean, the company is your baby, and so you feel like you're the one that's in the best position to do all of that. So that's kind of a jumping off the cliff. Or
that wasn't, because I'd worked with him at he was our
Okay.
government contact at the company that manufactured that helmet case.
okay,
So we all knew them. We sold their products. And I felt like, oh, thank you.
take it off
Thank you,
your plate.
universe. Thank you for this fella. And sure enough, he's just very good at it. And he's a nerd in the respect that we'll get one of those 73-page contracts, which each has maybe 20 different federal acquisition requirements, FARs, that also have 50. And he goes, oh, I can't wait to dig into this. Okay, all right.
You found the right team member for
Yes,
for your
he loves
team.
it. He'll call me, can you believe that this is not made in America, or whatever. I go, or you're not that requirement or whatever. And I go, no, that's hard to believe, Justin. What else, and then he goes on, and he's very successful. We spend a lot of our time strategizing and trying to figure out what the competition's going to do, and so he's good. Well, him and one other employer, my very best.
That's all.
If I could have a whole company of mine,
How do you decide to get into a new space or to come out with new product? I saw that you have this emergency first responder kit.
Mhm.
Is that relatively new? How did you get into
About a year or two. Again, that's that kit that if
Yes, it has
yeah.
a rolling cart. It's like a cage.
Oh, that one.
And then you
I think that's our
assemble
active
it with
shooter.
all the
Yes.
you assemble
Yeah.
armor plate and
Right.
all sorts of things that, including a first aid kit, I think,
Yeah.
that
So-
first responders might need in those situations. How did that come about?
I think it was during all the school shootings. I mean, I guess they're still going on. They just don't make the news. Unfortunately, it's no big deal, I guess, anymore. That we came up with something like that. So, because we call on a lot of, well, all of our first responders, a lot of security firms come in and inquire. We haven't, I don't think we've sold a lot of the rolling cart, but we sell a lot of the vests and all the different things.
Items that are in it.
Yeah.
So did you ask them, what do you think you would need in those situations?
Yes. And of course, nobody had all kinds of ideas. So that's what we came up with based on what everybody said. So, yeah, but we try, my big thing is diversified income stream.
Yeah.
When one market dries up or it changes, we've got money. I want to have at least 3 separate entities that totally pay for the company and let the 2 others be gravy. So if that one of them goes crazy, we still got that other one, and while we can rebuild this other one. I haven't reached that yet, but
You're in the oil and gas industry too, right? No?
No.
Okay.
We provide
Workwear and anti-static materials or packaging and clothing.
Yeah, they use the products in the oil field, but we don't dig oil wells or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
That industry also source items from you.
Yeah, we have we provide for fire police and first responders.
Medical supplies.
Yes. And the interesting part on the medical thing, when we put that kit together, and it was Michael that was doing that you talked to, we got a note from the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, that we had become manufacturers because we were kitting things. I think it was the FDA.
Really?
I may have that wrong. Yeah.
Wow. When you're just assembling.
Just putting Band-Aids and tourniquets and, things
together in a package.
So that was called, in their terms, manufacturing.
Oh.
So here's your $7,500 bill.
Oh my goodness.
To be a manufacturer, but you thought,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So that's the way.
So you are an entrepreneur. And did you grow up kind of knowing or did you feel like you had that entrepreneurial gene before you made that jump
No, I didn't really want that responsibility
of running a business?
Yeah, my first aptitude test, to give you aptitude test in school, it was I should be a forest ranger.
Oh.
So
that's about as far as you can get.
yeah,
Exactly.
right. Well, but that's where I have my acreage and my cows, because I just love, and like in like right now, I can sit in my backyard and I cannot see a house. Now in the winter when the leaves fall, I can see one here or there, but it's a very peaceful. I love it.
Do you have somebody in your life that you feel was just, someone that inspired you or was an inspiration? Maybe it's more than one person, but do you have somebody that was kind of
This is going to really sound maybe a little bizarre, but my dad was a gambler. So when I was little, I was the only child. So I was, I guess, as young as maybe 9 or so, I would watch the TV in the back of the house. I still remember with these little black and white TVs. And he would watch 2 TVs, one with the sound down, and it would be football. Or sometimes it wasn't televised, it'd be the radio. So my job was when somebody scored, to come tell him. And then he'd get on the phone. And I remember thinking, oh gosh, he and his friends really love football. Well, he was gambling. So the point is, I listened to Don Meredith, Frank Givert, and Howard Cosell. Listen,
The football announcers.
yes, saying
Yeah.
over and over and over, you don't quit, you don't give up, you leave it all on the field, just over and over and over. People, look at him, he's playing with a separated shoulder. Not that you should do that anymore, but look at that. And so I thought, well, that's just how you're supposed to live your life. You don't quit. And then I ended up my dad played every sport that there was, but he was short, so he was like 5'6" or something, so he never was meant to be a basketball player or anything. But I ended up being good at sports back before Title IX, so it was just you had to create your own team and stuff. But I ended up doing that. My daughter, in fact, was an all-star pitcher. My granddaughter is an all-star pitcher.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. So anyway, I'm
So-
getting off subject, but anyway, so
That's
those were my inspiration. That was it.
so just hearing over and over from announcers about how just the never say die, keep
Right.
keep on going, and that kind of was ingrained in not just your head, but in your ethos and your beliefs. I think 'cause
Yeah.
that you've carried that through, and that's super interesting.
You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. It's like the better you get, or at least my experience is, I believe it's holds true for everyone. The more powerful you become and more successful, and the more up here, the more there's the naysayers who probably were afraid to try, or whatever reason, are the ones that some of your biggest naysayers. And if you listen to that, then you'll be stopped. So
Do you have any advice for people, women maybe in particular, who are having thoughts about starting their own company? Do you have any advice for them?
just get after it. Just if you're fortunate enough to have another income in your life besides your own, I mean, really, do your due diligence and go, what is the market? Is this a good market for my product or my service? But yeah, I would say just totally, in my opinion, going back to sports, my generation, very few of us were sports. I was in sports at UT, and but again, they didn't even have a softball team. I mean, it was like
Wow.
an official softball team. They didn't
Right.
even have one until '97. I think that's when it started.
Oh, wow.
There wasn't anything for us to do except do our own thing. And, anyway, as I ramble here, we literally would fall down and have to, get the gravel out of our face and the blood off of our face, and we keep going. Most women, my generation, didn't do that. We were told to have a hair bow match our
Perfectly, right.
shoes or purse or whatever, and that was the big thing. And because our mothers wanted us to find good husbands, because they needed it, because they sure didn't. They couldn't even get birth control until the 70s or something in their name, couldn't buy a house on their own. So they wanted the best for us. So they wanted us to be as pretty and dainty and, and so we didn't learn how to compete, except looking prettier than that next woman to get the best looking guy.
So where did you get that from then?
I guess my dad.
Watching the
yeah.
football?
I'd go to football games with my dad. And then I started playing sports.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it was just something in my DNA. I remember my grandmother, a wonderful, wonderful lady. She was born in 1896 or something. And she was picking me up from school. And I guess I lost track of time. And girls had to wear dresses back then. So I was on the jungle gym with the boys. And I was hanging upside down. Of course, my dress was, and she's going, Debbie. And she's kind of running up and down. I said, hey, Granny. And she goes, come, get down. I said, oh, okay. And she was just frantic. I never understood. The boys, we were in second grade or something. They didn't,
Right.
nobody
Yeah.
said anything.
It's normal.
Yeah, so I guess I just was maybe born that way. I really don't know. But anyway, but
That's interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
Because, sometimes people ask, like, is it genetic or is it something
Nature or nurture.
Yeah, nature, nurture. Can anybody do it? Can anybody, be successful and do this, or is there some genetic component to
I think
it?
there's got to be something genetic. My granddaughter's 10, and she's good. She gets that glove in front of her face and gets that look and throws that ball. Yeah. So
You mentioned something as well about when you were talking about your mom and what success to her was marrying rich or marrying up or whatever, getting a good husband, whatever that definition is, right? And that I think that's an interesting thing, where success to one generation is not the same for the next or whatever. And I think sometimes that we may try to do that, not even knowing it as parents, like we're
Right.
trying to we want our kids to be successful, we want them to have the better life than we did or whatever, and so we try to tell them what we think success is from our standards, and it may be very different by the time they're where they are. So I think that was a reflection point for me, that we can't put our success or what our definition of success is onto the next generation.
there are limitations on them, but you also don't want to send them out to walk on a high wire across the Grand Canyon if you don't really think they have a good chance of surviving that, So anyway, but yeah, I think women have come a long way, but there's still tough time for like a 30-second story. Maybe I can do it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I've taken my granddaughter she was playing baseball. Wants to play baseball because her brother plays baseball, and she decided she was going to be in the MLB. So she now plays softball because all her friends are playing softball. Well, but at 5 she was playing baseball. First game she got the game ball because she hit a triple and a single. So
Wow.
that's kind of beside the point. Okay, so she also was the fastest runner in the little league right then in her group. So I'm sitting on the bleachers. Here's the dugout, and there's chain link fence, and I hear some commotion, like a helmet goes flying, and I look, and it's her helmet. And I'm looking, and she's got a hold of the bat on one side, and this little boy's got the bat on the other, and they're like that far apart, and they're going like that. And I thought, well, I'm going to play this out, see what's happening. And I'm waiting, and I'm looking. And I said, do you need some help? And he didn't see me, and he dropped the thing. So, okay. So game after the game, we're walking the car. And I said, hey, what was that about with the bat thing? She goes, oh, and he's coach's son. So, he doesn't think girls need to be playing baseball. I thought, okay, here we have still a long way to go.
Yeah. I mean, so it's still there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would watch them coach the boys, and I watch them, they go, lean with your hip, and her, she get a little pat. Good girl. So that's so thrilled that she got the game ball. That was cool.
So we've made some advances.
Yes.
But it sounds like we still have work to do.
We
right?
still have a long.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
What do you do, I guess, to help with that, in your business or your personal life? How are you trying to pull the next generation of women up?
I am asked to speak occasionally, but kind of just one-on-one when someone is talking. And my best advice to them, like I've been my own worst enemy. I have let myself get so ticked off, and therefore I've given that person my power. My daughter is perfect. She absolutely can be furious. She should have gone to law school. But she can just look at you and basically say, "Yeah, you're a bum," but in a nice, eloquent way, and just puts it back on them. She's one of these that just bounces off. And my advice to women would be, just don't give them your power. Stay in it. Don't quit. Don't ever quit. Don't ever, because there's going to be, the better you get. It's like I don't know, in my generation, all we could do in my high school is be cheerleaders or in the drill team. I mean, there was nothing. So, and it was 1,000 people in my class at Richardson High School. Wow. So if you were in the drill team or cheerleader, you were a queen. And so the minute I made the drill team, two of my friends that didn't decided I was a snob, you know? So that's the way we do. We pick on
Each other.
the ones that
Yeah.
tend to be successful instead of going, wow, I need to try harder, or maybe that's not for me or something, you know? And
Find your lane and,
yeah.
So-
And
Now, speaking of your daughter, she is vice president, right now.
yes.
So I think you mentioned to me earlier that the intent is for her to take over the company later.
Yes, you know, and I, Lord only knows if she, because I probably am not going to retire. I mean, I feel good. I enjoy what I do. So if, you know, if I go on to my next adventure, I mean, she might, I don't know if she'll sell it or I don't know what she'll do with it.
it's hard to believe, but we have drawn to the end of another Rockstar launcher.
All right.
So love your pearls of wisdom and really admire, what you've done, that you've gone into this industry that's been male dominated and still male dominated, but you're ruling like a queen. And I think with that, we'll close with words of wisdom. Never give up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Loved it.
Thanks.